Hey all, welcome to our YouTube channel, Online Study for You, one-step solution for all your placement needs. I hope you all are doing extremely well. Well, first of all, if you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed this channel till now, make sure to subscribe. This channel is going to be very, very helpful for your placement preparation journey because we have lots of important material and that is even free of cost from which you can learn. You can do best in your preparation. So do subscribe this channel. Also turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss any important update or opportunity from the channel itself. First of all the best to each and every one of you who is going to attend the Wipro exam tomorrow and maybe in the upcoming days. So all the best, guys. I'm hoping that you are done with your preparation. And even if some points are remaining, so what we're gonna do in this video, we are going to cover all the important points that you have to keep in your mind for the coding section, right? Because usually I do give videos regarding coding section. So in this video itself also, I'm going to discuss about the important strategy or important topics that you most probably are going to get for the coding section in Wipro exam. Because in Wipro, there is from the technical part, there will be coding questions only, right? 2 coding questions will be there from the Wipro exam. So we are going to discuss about this. We'll be solving one coding problem as well to give you a sort of insight, right? You know that even myself has been selected in the Wipro, so I'm having a proper sort of knowledge that what is the kind of pattern and what sort of questions has been asked, what is the difficulty level. So I'm hoping that my experience will be helpful for you. So do watch the complete video and do subscribe this channel and have the best wishes from my side, from our team side for your exam if you're having your exam tomorrow and in upcoming days. So without any delay, let's come to our main point. So as you can see here, what is the agenda of this video? To just give you a last minute tips for preparing coding section for Wipro exam and also to discuss important coding questions for the Wipro. So without any delay, let's see. So what my personal experience has been and also what I've come to conclude, or like what I've concluded by properly analyzing through all the previous year questions papers of the Wipro exam, that generally the coding questions will be easy only, and most probably if your coding concepts are clear, like if you are having just a basic sort of knowledge, it means you are able to solve easy to medium level of coding problems. You will be able to solve these coding problems that has been asked in the Wipro exam before the allotted time, right? So before the allotted time, you'll be able to solve the coding problems if your concepts are clear and if you have solved sort of problems that are ranging from easy to medium. Let me tell you a sort of topics from which you will be expecting, or from which you can expect the coding questions, right? So let's see about this. So first one, array is very, very important. Array. Yes, most probably what I have analyzed, that most probably whatever coding questions they have asked, they are related with the array only. So this can be sorting, this can be a question related to the sorting of the array. But one thing that I have to mention here is that they are not going to directly ask you the question. They are not going to mention that, okay, this is the question given and you have to sort the array. That won't be the case. They won't be that much direct. There will be sort of a word problem, you can say. Let's understand by this manner. So the question can be something like this. Some students were standing in a row, right? Some students were standing in a row. The teacher ordered the student to be arranged or to be sorted to be arranged basically in descending order or in ascending order. Depends on the question how they actually want to arrange the students. The teacher ordered the students to arrange or to stand in a ascending order on the basis of their heights. So basically you are having the number of students and the height of the students in the array format. Now what you have to do, you have to arrange the students in a ascending order, right? So for example, you can have n equal to 3 students. Just for example, I'm just taking 3 only. N equal to 3 and height of the students given like is 2, 1, 3. So you have to arrange this in ascending order according to the question. So that is what it is, a sorting problem. Directly they are not mentioning, but that's so obvious. Just by reading the problem statement itself, you can conclude that it is nothing but a sorting problem. So obviously you can apply any sorting algorithm. Now again, in the Wipro, there is no restriction on the time complexity or space complexity. So don't worry, you won't be having these sort of constraint, right? You won't be having that, okay, in this much time you have to solve. So you can go with the brute force approach even and with the optimized approach even. If you are having a brute force approach in your mind, Don't think that okay, this won't be running and so. Don't have these sort of doubts. Directly apply it. If there is some sort of constraint even earlier, then try to optimize it further. Otherwise, if you're even a brute force approach is running and you are able to pass all the test cases, then that's totally fine, right? So for sorting, now again for sorting, there are multiple sorting algorithms. So don't be confused in whichever algorithm is clear to you. Maybe it's selection sort, bubble sort, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort. Many algorithms are there. So you can go with the selection even, bubble sort even, whichever algorithm is clear to you. Don't think that you have to be very optimized. So you will be going with merge sort because it's time complexity sort of better, and so many things that can be in your mind. You can go with any of the sorting algorithms. Your main focus should be on sorting the result. That is what expected you in the question itself. Some question can be like array problem itself can be related with the removal of duplicate elements. What questions I got? So one question was related from Armstrong number. So what was the question? Let me give you a sort of idea. The question was like this: basically you have been provided a upper range and a lower range and upper range is given to you. You have to determine all the numbers which are Armstrong in nature. So this was the question which I got in my Wipro exam. Next question I could not as such recall now, but that was also some sort of tricky mathematical question, right? This was a sort of tricky mathematical question, but I was able to solve it. I was able to solve both the questions before even allotted time. I think 10 to 15 minutes, I just solved both the coding questions. So they were really easy. Right. So Armstrong number, for this, it should be important that you should be clear that what is basically Armstrong number. And also, although in the explanation itself, again, the question was not direct. For me, the question was not direct. It was in the form of a word problem, and something they have mentioned that, okay, this number is working like this and so. So you have to determine all these sort of number in that given range. But it was obvious for me because already you must have been solved the numbers, these sort of basic coding problems regarding Armstrong number, palindrome number, and all these numbers. So this was very obvious that this is the problem. This is the question of Armstrong number. So I just applied the logic and just I got the answer, right? So questions will be easy only. It's just your basics should be clear, and you should not be in that much confusion. And also the time allotted is also, I think that it is sufficient and even more than sufficient. Even though if you are doing any sort of mistake, the time allotted is sufficient. So you will be able to figure it out that, okay, what is the problem and so. The section where I did face some time constraint, and I think the time was about limited, and so this was aptitude section. Generally we do have problem in that aptitude only. It's just also it is just a matter of, not a very big matter of concern. It's just all about your practice. Although if you will be talking about this section, then aptitude was also pretty easy only, right? So Armstrong, and then Armstrong number, sort of the basic programs should be crystal clear to you. There should be no confusion in these basic programs. But if you are having confusion in even these these sort of programs, then that can be a problem for sure. And at least one coding question you have to solve. At least one coding question. You cannot skip. It's not like if you are not able to solve even any of the question you are expecting for selection. It's very rare. And what I've heard from most of the students who are selected, and many of the friends of mine even who are selected, and all these things, for me, I did too. But what I think the threshold is like minimum one question you have to solve to be shortlisted for further rounds. So make a note of that. Although I'm sure that you'll be able to solve one or even both the coding questions because they are going to be easy only. But just for your information, I'm telling that at least one coding question you have to solve. Again, next, the question topic that they're gonna choose is string. Like from the string, they can ask some sort of questions. Again, they are going to be easy only, so not a very difficult question. And see, you can go with any approach. I'm telling you this again and again, so don't worry about the brute force or the optimization. But if you are able to pass the test cases, then that's totally fine. It means you are getting the complete marks related with that coding problem. So this was a sort of idea about for you. So just go through the basic questions if some sort of revision is needed. Also, please don't revise. Please don't try to learn. Please don't try to learn. Basically, revision you can do for sure. Please don't try to learn any new concept. It's not just for coding, for any section, right? This is my personal advice, and even I do follow the same. Last night you can take a आराम से स्लीप ले सकते हो आप, और इवन इफ नहीं आपको लग रहा है कि हाँ थोड़ा सा कर लेते, देन यू कैन डू रिवीजन. sort of important concepts आप देख लो, and a proper sleep is must, right? So proper sleep तो आपको लेना ही है, so that your brain can work effectively when you are giving the exam. So for your brain to work effectively during the exam, it's important that you have taken a proper sleep. So वो तो आपको करना ही है, and if you want to do some sort of revision, and for this you can go, like you can sort of revise the important aptitude concept, aptitude formulas basically. I mean by this, the aptitude formulas you can revise for English. If you have written some antonyms, synonyms, and these sort of things, you can just revise them once, you can go through them once. For coding, I've already told you, if there is some sort of confusion in some logic for any problem or for any program, you can go for it. And those who are having the exam not tomorrow but in upcoming days, so let me tell you one thing very important. The thing is that previous year questions can even repeat in Wipro. That is very important point. For me, even what I did, I just saw previous year's question paper. This is what I did, and you won't believe 4 to 5 questions were exact similar that I got in the previous year. So previous year questions paper are very important. If you're having it from somewhere, or even YouTube itself is having many videos on the previous year coding questions that has been our previous year aptitude questions, English questions. So you can just go through them, and for sure there can be chances that you are getting the exact question. So if you want, you can go through the previous year questions itself. This tip is not for them who are having the exam tomorrow, because now that is not a good idea. But if you're having exam in the upcoming days, you can go for it for sure, because that would be helpful for you. Because what I'm expecting from you is that most probably you must have covered many important topics. It's just revision is needed. Then you can just solve this question to check whether your concepts are clear or not. So previous year questions are must to do. Well, on that note, I hope that now you must be having a clear understanding of what sort of topics you can expect and what should be the level for the coding question, and or each and everything. It's not just for coding question. For other sections, it's very easy to medium questions will be there. So not to worry about the things. So let us see a coding problem and let us understand that how basically we can solve it. So basically here we are having that a teacher used to give tricky questions to the students. Okay, she gave one such question to Seema. Now you have to help Seema in solving that coding question. So what is the question? The question is that given a sorted array A of size n, delete all the duplicate elements from A. Help Seema in solving that question. So basically for Seema, her teacher gave her a question that basically you are having a sorted array for which the size is n. What you have to do is you have to delete all the duplicates element from this given array, and after this what you have to do is you have to simply print the array. Let's understand the same with the help of an example. Now you must probably be thinking that it is a very easy question. Then let me tell you that these sort of questions only you are going to get in your exam, not a very difficult question. So that's why if we are talking about a specific exam, about a specific company, then obviously the level of the question that I'm going to choose would be similar, right? So for those it is easy. Then I think that yes, you will be able to solve the questions that you are going to get in your exam as well, because these sort of questions will be there, right? So here you can see an example. We are having n equal to 5. This is the size of our array, and these are the array elements, right? Now you have to remove basically duplicates. Now 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, they all are duplicates. So after removal of the duplicates, you will be having just one element, because for one element there is no duplicate. That's why we are getting 2 as the output, right? For example 2, if you will see, so here we are having the size of array of S3. These are the elements 1, 2, 2. So you can see we are getting 1, 2 as the output, right? Now, there can be certain approaches for solving this problem. Either you can take some extra space as well. This can be solved without taking an extra space. Again, it depends on you. If you want to use extra space, you can use, because there will be no such time constraint basically in the question that, okay, you cannot use a space. You can go for it, right? So if you will use an extra space, what you can do is, first of all, we can take a temporary array. Let's suppose we have taken a temporary array that is having the size n only, which is the size of our array. Now what we're gonna do is we can take a loop int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We can take another variable for the indexing purpose in our temporary array. Now what we can do is, if see, one advantage in that question is that array is sorted. So what you can check is that if your array, let's suppose array is ARR, so if your ARR I not equal to ARR of I plus 1, now here the loop should be from n minus 1, otherwise it will throw some error. So because for the last element also it will ask for I plus 1, but no such element exists, right, for the last one. So let's suppose this is the array 1 2 2. So this loop will be from I equal to 0, I less than n, n is 3, 3 minus 2, that is 2 itself. So we'll be checking if ARR of I, it means this 1 not equal to I plus 1, it means this element. So is it so? Yes, it is so. The condition is true. So we are going to store that element in our temporary array. So temp of j equal to ARR of I. So now in temporary array, we are having one element stored at the 0th index. And also we are going to increment the value of j, right? Now again, I value will be 1 less than 2, condition is true. So we'll be checking if ARR of 1 not equal to ARR of 2. No, that is not true, right? So we are not going to move inside this if condition, and then I will be 2, so we will come out of this loop. Now again, you know that one element is still remaining, and you know that this is the last element. So even if it is repeated or that is the case, it won't create a problem, because you can see this 2 has been repeated, but we haven't stored this in our temporary array. Did we? No, right? What we're gonna do is in the last, so j value will remain what? J value you can see has been incremented. So j value is 1 now. So we'll be doing temp of j equal to ARR of last element, right? So this is the last element, n is n minus 1, right? So that will be stored in our temporary array. We'll be having 1 2 as the output. Let me take one more example if there is some sort of confusion for you in your mind. So 1 2 2 3 4. Let's understand with the help of this. So again, if you will go through the same loop, we'll be comparing these two first. So they are not similar. For this will be stored in our temporary array. We'll be comparing these two. They are similar. We'll be moving further. Now we'll be comparing these two. So you can see 2 is not equal to 3. So 2 will be taken in our temporary array. Then we'll be comparing what? 3 4. So they are not equal, so it will be taken in. Then for 4, it's just going to what? It is going to be this. For 4, this statement will be executed like at the last, that temp of j equal to j will be what in that case? So 0 1 2 3, j value will be, so temp of 3 equal to, will be doing ARR of n minus 1. N is what here? 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 minus 1, that is 4. So this element is at 4th index, right? 0 1 2 3 4. So that will be stored in the temporary array. So 1 2 3 4 will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, now here we are, what should be the time complexity? You can see we are taking one loop, so time complexity will be big O of n. Also we are taking one extra space, that is this temporary array, so space complexity will be big O of n. Now we can further optimize this solution. How? By removing this extra space. So how we can do so? We can do these changes in our existing array itself, that is ARR array itself. How we can do so? So just a simple change you can do is let the loop be as it is. We can make the changes in the existing array itself. Let me show you the code itself so that you can get a proper understanding. So let's jump to the coding platform, and let me show you this code where we are just using the extra space, and another code we are not using any extra space. So you can see, first of all, this is our main function. We are taking the array size as input, and then we are taking the array elements as input. Now either you can write the logic in the main function itself, or you can take the another function for implementing your main logic. Well, usually what I do take another function for implementing my main logic. So here also I have done the same. I have taken another function, that is remove duplicates, that is going to implement my main logic. So to this function, what I'm going to pass is, I'm passing my array, right? I'm passing my array ARR, and I'm passing the size of the array, that is n. Now first of all, I'm checking here that if the size of the array is 0 or even 1 itself, it means there is no chances of duplicacy. So I'm just returning the n itself, right? And then what I'm doing is I'm taking an extra temporary array, to which I'm taking the similar loop which I just discussed with you. So here you can see, basically I'm checking if ARR of I is not equal to ARR of I plus 1. Simply we are doing temp of j equal to ARR of I, right? This is what we were doing in our main logic also. right? I hope there should be no confusion about this. Now I have written here temp of j plus plus, so it's not important. You can do the same even on the next line also, right? So this thing we can do on the next line also. It means what I'm trying to say is that here you can write like this, and on the next line you can do, let me take one j plus plus. Fine. So even that you can do. Now at the last, for the last element, we are doing what? Just temp of j plus plus equal to AR of n minus 1. Right. So this is what we are doing. Now what I'm trying to do is, we are trying to do, for example, let me have this arrays 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. So after doing all this operation, what will be stored in my temporary array? 1, 2, 3, 4. After removing the duplicates, what is the size of this array? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the size of this array, right? So j plus plus we are simply doing because so that j value can be implemented, because j is basically representing the size. As of now, what will be the j size? That will be 3 only, 0, 1, 2, 3. But here we have done this j plus plus, so j will be what? 4 this time. So next what we are doing is, see, we have to do this thing in our actual array itself. So in the function itself, what we are doing is, we are putting all the elements. So you can see what we are doing is, for int I equal to 0 till the time I value is less than that of j. J is what? The size of my array, or basically my temporary array. So I am doing what? I am putting the elements of temporary array to my original array, and then simply I am returning the size. That is nothing but j itself. And here you can see in the main function, what I'm doing is, I'm simply printing the array elements, right? If you want, I can run it for you, although it will work fine. So this was one thing. For this solution, the time complexity will be big of n, and the space complexity will also be big of n. Let's understand another solution where your time complexity will be big of n, but your space complexity will be big of 1 only, because we'll not be using any extra space. So let's have a look on another solution as well. Okay, so here the main part is same. Just what we are doing is, here also we are just simply checking that if n is 0 or it is just 1, so you have to simply return n itself. What we are doing is, let me take an example and then let me explain that. We have 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, what is the size of this array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the size of this array. 5 is the size of this array. Now again, the loop is going to be up to n minus 1, that is up to 4. So we are simply checking if ARR of I, that is 1, is not equal to ARR of I plus 1, that is 2. So 1 not equal to 2, yeah, the condition is 2. So what we are going to do is, in our ARR itself, in our original array itself, what we are going to do is, we have taken this variable j, right? So we are doing ARR of j plus plus. It means first store the value and then increment the value of j. So at ARR of 0, we are going to store the value of ARRI, that is 1 will be stored. Now again, the loop, and j will be going to what? J will be 1 now, because we have done this j plus plus. Now again, our I loop will be executed, and this time I value will be what? 1. So 1 not equal to the, so element at index 1 is not equal to the element at index 2. Well, it is equal, right? So nothing will happen. We won't be moving in the if part. Again, what is going to happen is, we are going to check the same condition. So this time I value is what? 2, right? So we are going to check if ARR of 2 not equal to ARR of 3. So we are having 2 and 3. So yes, they are not equal. So at j value is still 1 itself. So at index 1, we are going to store the values at ARR of j. We are going to store the value that is present at ARR of I. That is 2 will be stored and j value will be incremented. So j is what? J is what? 2 now. Again, we are going to check the same thing. For 2, 3 we have done. Now for 3, 3, if we are going to check, so yes, they are duplicate. So we will not move proceeding further, and after this the for loop condition will become false and we will come out of the loop. And at the last, what we are doing is ARR of j. At ARR of j is what? It is still j value is what? J value is what? 2, right? J value is what? 2. So at ARR of 2, we are going to store the element that is present at the last. What is the element? 3. So 3 will be stored, and then we are doing j plus plus, because see, what will be the size of our array after removing the duplicates? What will be the size? three elements will be there, na? So 3 will be the size. So we are simply returning that size, and here this n is accepting that size, and simply we are printing the array elements, right? So this is how it's working. Let me run this for you, just this one. And here, let's suppose we are having 6 elements are 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So you can see 2, 3, 4, 7 is our array after the removal of duplicate. So I hope the coding question that we discussed and all the tips and strategy that we discussed in the video were helpful for you. So just follow the same. I'm sure that this will be helpful for you. And again, all the best, guys. Do your best. And I'm hoping that you guys will be doing your best and will be selected. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Keep learning, keep preparing. Do subscribe this channel. Bye-bye.